it working? No. With me on the dais are Shri Chela Kumar, who is in charge for Goa of the AICC, our candidate and president, Girish Chodhankar ji, a former cabinet minister, and my old friend Ramakant Khalap ji, Mr. Sheikh, spokesman, Mr. Trojan, Demelo, I remember, and Mr. Naik, and friends. Shall I be speaking in English or Hindi? What are you are comfortable? English, fine. You are aware of the issues that have been raised in the recent elections nationally and in Goa. My party colleagues have shared with you our concerns, our priorities, and the manifestos. Both the National Manifesto, which was released on the 2nd of April by Congress President Shri Rahul Gandhi, highlighting some of the issues which concern directly the people of India, the younger generation, the youth, their jobs, employment, the agrarian distress, the issues of the farmers, health, women's security, and creating of opportunities in the country. Goa PCC has separately come out with a manifesto which highlights the concerns of the Goan people and the electorate here about their economy, the threat posed to tourism by the wrong decisions of a manufactured government. I have used the word manufactured through deceit, deception, and defection. And also the future interests of Goa threatened directly by the change in the CRZ regulations, which will sooner or later destroy all the beaches and thereby adversely impact the tourism of the state, which will also be linked with the creation of job opportunities. Also, what has been spoken about and Congress commitment is to revive the process of mining within the overall safeguards and guidelines and environmental considerations as have been delineated by the Supreme Court of India. But what is more important is that both mining and tourism are important to be revived or nurtured and protected for job creation, at the same time to protect the overall interest of the state, which the Congress is committed to when it comes to its identity, culture, traditions, and also land holdings. So I shall not go more into detail on that, as Girish Chodhankar ji and my other colleagues, they are better equipped to address those issues. What we have seen in the country in the last 5 years is important. In May 2014, there was a change of government when the then incumbent government, led by the Congress, with Dr. Manmohan Singh as Prime Minister, was targeted through propaganda and an orchestrated campaign which created a perception against the government. It was excessive vilification of an elected government which had done extremely well in one decade between 2004 and 2014. But all that good work perhaps could not be connected with the political narrative which was built against the Congress. I'm just giving you the background. And there was a change of government. People voted for BJP and Shri Narendra Modi. There were promises that were made by Prime Minister Narendra Modi to the people of India of transformative change in the country, of strengthening of the economy, which in any case was in a very healthy state, contrary to what was claimed or said, to create 2 crore jobs, 20 million jobs per year, That means 10 crore jobs in 5 years, which have ended now. He had also promised to our farmers 1.5 times the cost of their produce. That would be the guaranteed minimum support price to the Indian farmer. There was also an additional promise made, on whose advice only he can explain, to get a staggering amount of imaginary black money stashed abroad and to put 15 lakh rupees in the bank account of every Indian citizen within 100 days. Now the question is, has the Prime Minister delivered? The answer is no. He has failed to deliver on each of the promises, and he refuses to give any account of non-deliverance. Prime Minister is not prepared to take any question, nor willing to give any answers as to where are the jobs in India. As per the Congress President, Congress Party, the first concern today before the people of India are jobs. It concerns the youth, it concerns the parents. Unemployment has touched a 45-year high in the country. The government has suppressed the NSSO data, but it's creeping on to 7% is the unemployment rate in India, which is unaffordable and unacceptable. Similarly, when we look at the farmers, the agrarian distress is visible. Tens of thousands of farmers have committed suicide, and you would have seen yourself in the national media, the television, newspapers, of the various states of the country, whether it's the Tamil Nadu, whether it's Maharashtra, whether it's Punjab, whether it's Madhya Pradesh, tens of thousands of farmers, tribal farmers, marching on, coming out with morchas, seeking justice. This has been the picture of India in the last few years. There's been an environment of insecurity, suspicion, fear, and intimidation. There's an assault on the foundational values of our republic and the Constitution. There's misuse of central government machinery, abuse of power and authority by Prime Minister and his ministers, and blatant abuse of central government agencies, including the tax authorities, income tax, investigating agencies, for targeted political vendetta against the opposition, which is continuing into this election, which is unprecedented. It has never happened in a democracy that during elections from Tamil Nadu to Kolkata to Orissa to UP, raids are taking place against the prominent leaders of the opposition parties, whether it's the Mamata Banerjee's TMC, whether it's the Kanimori of DMK, whether it's Naveen Patnaik's. Many of these parties are not with us, some are with us. The point which I am making is a brazen abuse of power and misuse of central government agencies, to distort public perception and also to impact on the fairness of the elections by tarnishing the image of the key opposition leaders. This poses a grave threat to Indian democracy, which the Congress Party has been resisting all these years when our own leaders have been targeted by the same government and in the same manner. The question today is, what is the narrative? What is the Prime Minister and the BJP promising? And what is the Congress saying? Through you, I am asking, is the Prime Minister promising anything to the people of India? Is the Prime Minister not supposed to give an account of the last 5 years? 5 साल के बाद प्रधानमंत्री को जवाब देना है और हिसाब देना है. But he is running away from that. He is trying to deflect the political discussion, and the entire narrative is being built on false premises. He is deflecting attention. We want him to answer for his failures. BJP's so-called Sankalp Patra is an insult to the wisdom of the Indian voters. Sankalp is a pledge. When you have violated the 2014 pledge, how can you take another one? You have to apologize for having violated. They owe an apology to the youth, to the farmers, and to the people of India for having betrayed their trust. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the BJP, in their campaign and the so-called document and their advertisements, are also coming up with an emotional propaganda. They are playing with people's emotions. It's a matter of shame that for the first time in the history of independent India, we have a Prime Minister who is seeking to use our brave armed forces for partisan political propaganda and gains. Prime Minister should be condemned in strongest terms for seeking votes in the name of those who have given their lives for our motherland to protect India and its integrity. We want to make it absolutely clear to Shri Narendra Modi and the BJP. The Indian Army belongs to the people and Republic of India. Indian Army fights holding the tricolor aloft. Indian Army does not belong to Narendra Modi, does not belong to the BJP. They have insulted the martyrdom and sacrifice of our soldiers, which have been protested to by many former army chiefs or the chiefs of the Air Force and the Indian Navy. We also want to convey one thing with absolute clarity, that the Indian National Congress needs no certificate from Shri Narendra Modi or the BJP about our patriotism, which is not their domain. We fought for the independence of this country. We built India to what it is. Contrary to the unhealthy mindset of our Prime Minister, who thinks India was reborn on 16th of May 2014, when Congress government was defeated and he was elected. By that time, India was already a nuclear power, a space power. We have landed on moon, and our Mars mission was well on course. So just to tell you a few things. We have fought terrorism like none else. And for the unity and integrity of India, our leaders have made supreme sacrifices, including the martyrdom of two of our Prime Ministers, Srimati Indira Gandhi and Shri Rajiv Gandhi. So people of India cannot be misled by a Prime Minister who definitely cannot be matched for his deceitful promises, boastful claims and propaganda. After he ceases to be a Prime Minister of India, he can definitely set up an international academy to train people for false propaganda and how to mislead the people. I also want to put on record, as we have promised to our people, calm means jobs for the youth, dam for the farmers, that is fasal ka कीमत मिले, shan is the dignity of our people, sushasan is good governance, swabhiman, self-respect, and Samman. That's to respect to all our citizens. We have made very clear promises to finally eradicate the remnants of poverty through the Nyay scheme, which is guaranteed transfer of 72,000 rupees in the poorest of the poor accounts. That's the 5 crore poor families. That's 6,000 rupees per month. There is a ring of sincerity in what we say, because in the past when we have said something, we have delivered. There's the difference between what Narendra Modi says, what Rahul Gandhi says, what BJP says, what Congress party says. Right from the independence to establish a constitutional democracy with universal suffrage, when many countries in the Europe had not given their women the right to vote, we gave in our 10 years the right to information to empower the people, right to food security, right to education, and we also gave Manrega. Manrega helped the people, the poor, during the worst crisis that our people faced following a reckless decision of Prime Minister Narendra Modi of 8th of November 2016, invalidating 86% of Indian currency in circulation. It was over 15 lakh crores, insulting our people and our economy by claiming that it is run on black money, crime money and terror money. All that has proved to be false. He refuses to apologize. So where I started from job creation or 2 crores, here I am connecting to that. Crores of jobs were lost. By conservative estimate, over 4 crore jobs were lost post demonetization. The micro, small and medium enterprises were the worst hit. Official reports say that 1/3 of them closed down, which means they employed 12 crore people, 4 crore people lost jobs. Unorganized sector was the worst hit. Many of these enterprises have never reopened. And within 6 months, he gave the second blow of a flawed GST and its hasty imposition, and insulted the country by equating it with the second freedom. That was only an imposition of a tax, and called it one nation, one tax. It's one nation, 5 tax. As you know, the 5 slabs. He violated the agreement or understanding reached with the Congress party for constitutional amendment on GST. He did to the Congress what he did to the people of India. We agreed that the highest slab will be 18% and everything will be brought within the revenue net. But 45% of India's revenue base is kept out, from petroleum products to electricity to real estate to alcohol. That is what Mr. Modi has done. Economy of this country has been mismanaged. I challenge the Prime Minister or his Finance Minister to debate with us. He will never do that. He has not done in Parliament for 5 years. He will never respect you by agreeing to address, by you mean the press of India, by agreeing to address a press conference and take your questions. He will never do that. Because he knows he is hollow. He'll not be able to answer the questions. Now, it is not a galloping economy. It is a sputtering and a gasping economy. You've seen the engine flying, normally the aeroplane, 4 engines. The engines of the Indian economy or any economy would be investment, manufacturing, capital formation, that is gross fixed capital formation, means new industries and factories, and exports. I challenge Shri Narendra Modi and the BJP, all these 4 engines are shut. The national investment rate has fallen by 7 percentage points, almost 7, from 34.5 to 28%. It has remained static at 28, 28.5 for the last 5 years. This means that we are not attracting money into manufacturing and economic activity. The government has no money to invest. They have wrecked the banks, public sector banks. There have been multiple frauds by cronies and people close to the Prime Minister. Is the poor person from whom recovery is made, from a farmer who may be forced to commit suicide, but over 3.5 lakh rupees, crore rupees, loan of the rich industrialists have been written off. Many of the people who are closest to the Prime Minister owe 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 crore to the Indian banks. The credit offtake from the banks to the industry is the lowest in proportionate terms, as low as 1952. You'll be shocked to hear that. The gross fixed capital formation, that's the creation of new factories, that has been hovering at zero or in the negative. And the existing industrial capacity which was there in 2014, 1/3 of it is unutilized. The exports during our time, despite the backdrop of a critical global financial and economic crisis of 2008 and 9, where we were one of the first economies to rebound and become an engine of global economic recovery, India and China, we doubled our exports in 4 years, merchandise exports. We left at $323 billion US, only the merchandise export, but our two-way trade, including our imports, where we import a lot also, was 1.1 trillion US. The economy, we had taken it to $2 trillion. But exports are stagnating. They're exactly there where we left, whereas it should have been $550 billion, if not 600. So it's not $220 billion less. You must understand, it is almost 16 lakh crore rupee less. What is the value of the Indian currency? And my straight question is, if we are really galloping, why we are losing jobs and not creating jobs? Let Prime Minister come and answer this question. There's also enough scams and scandals in this government. There's a huge difference and contradiction between what Narendra Modi says and what he delivers. Is deception, is double standards, double speak, and he has mastered that art. There is no match. Last thing which I want to put on record is about the money and the resources at the disposal of the BJP. Never before in the democratic history of this country or any country we have seen such money. BJP is flush with funds. We want them to give an account from where this money has come. In 2014, we were defamed as a government where allegations of corruption were hurled. After 5 years, you have seen most of it was false. It was scurrilous propaganda. All of us, I was in the cabinet all through. So I can say that with a great sense of responsibility and seriousness. Now, when you look at the present regime, or the BJP, even in 2014, by the international money watch groups, there's an international group which watches the movement of money during the elections. In 2014 parliamentary elections, BJP used minimum 6 to 7 billion US dollars. Going by the then exchange rates, it was between 30 and 35,000 crores. These are reports which are accessible and in public domain. So it's not me making a statement today. These elections, the amount will be much higher. And I challenge BJP to contradict me here. in the last 3 years, the BJP as a political party, it's a political party, it's not a commercial organization, it's not a large business enterprise like the Tatas or the Reliance, it's not a multinational, it's a political party in a democracy. It has emerged as the biggest advertiser of India, beating Amazon, Netflix, Unilever, Tata Industries and Reliance all put together. Official filing is 4,397 crores spent only on advertisement by the BJP. It's only advertisements. I'm not talking of all the other resources which are there. 90% of the fixed wing planes are with them. 95% of the helicopters are with them. Just now the electoral bond story has come out. Even the Election Commission is protesting that it has to be made public. Supreme Court has also said it should be disclosed. Why it is not disclosed? In 15 months, the electoral bonds which have come out about 2,225 crores, 95% have gone to the BJP. 95%. This is official money. The rest of their campaign is all run on black money. From where is it coming? Surely they have not dived into the Ganges which is yet to be cleaned. अभी गंगा साफ नहीं हुई में, पर कहाँ से है ये पैसा, किसका पैसा है, ये हम हिसाब इनसे मांगते हैं. So through you I have raised certain issues. There may be questions which you may have, and I'll be more than happy to take, and my colleagues are here who are equally competent to respond.
Sir, and do you think that government has failed to address it on time? JTV, sir.
Okay, thank you. Jet Airways collapse has been a shock to the country because it was one of the popular brands which were Make in India, which ran well for almost 25 years. It's not the failure of the government, which normally I would have said if you had asked me 3 days ago, that the government is insensitive, Prime Minister is insensitive to the plight of over 22,000 employees, their families, hundreds of pilots, and the service industry which supports, whether it's the catering or the taxis or the hotels. So it's a huge loss to the Indian economy. So-called job creator Prime Minister is finally in his last few weeks has reconfirmed that he is a job destroyer, not a job creator. My question is linked to what the Jet Airways Employees Association have petitioned. They have said something which is startling. And going through that makes it very clear what has happened is scandalous. Collapse of Jet Airways now appears to be a big scam which was well thought out and being executed in the din of the elections so that nobody will ask questions. When there are other businesses which have been rescued by this government of cronies by restructuring 30,000-40,000 crore of debts, here there was much smaller in amount, and there was a resolution by the lenders, so we are told it's in public domain, the consortium of the banks, to save jobs and to save the airline. And they were to put in a small amount, maybe 1,000 crore, 1,200 crores. That's what the Employees Association have petitioned now. But once the resolution plan was accepted and the management or the promoters moved out, the banks have not put in the money. Why? The fleet was grounded. So it's the brand value of a running airline which has been destroyed. Planes, we are told now, and yesterday only I was informed, registered in India have been deregistered and re-registered. Note my words. Who are the people who are re-registering those planes, or which entity? You will find out very close to the ruling establishment. So the value will be brought down, and the same consortium of banks which had committed itself to the resolution plan and not honored that resolution plan, ruining the lives of tens of thousands of our sons and daughters, the employees, they are willing to take, you would have read, 80% haircut. So if 6,000, 8,000 crore was the outstanding loan, 80% haircut will be there. This is a expression or acronym or what is used in common parlance. That they will let go of that 80% of that outstanding debt. For what you have destroyed the airline. This means for 20% of the outstanding, they will transfer it to someone who is already busy, for the entity, getting these planes re-registered. I now smell and see that it is a big, big scam. The Supreme Court of India should take note. They should direct the registration of an FIR into this entire scandal. It needs to be reinvestigated and accountability fixed for destroying thousands of jobs, families, and also a criminal conspiracy from what the employees in the Pilots Association have come up with. Because these are elections, nobody has talked about it.
In the first time in the history, Congress is contesting.
I didn't get your question.
In the first time in the history, Congress is contesting across the country the least number of seats.
That's not true.
How many seats do you have on the total seats you have contested?
You see, you can count. I'll go by deduction. We are in alliance in Tamil Nadu.
I am pure.
No, I'm telling you. So I'm going by the number straight away. We are in alliance in Tamil Nadu. So there we are contesting 9 plus 1, we are 10. We are contesting in alliance in Maharashtra. So there again, 23 seats with the NCPs, 25 we are fighting. So this is not the first time that we have done both the states in the past too. The rest, we have an alliance in Bihar, and we have an alliance in Jharkhand. We have an alliance in Karnataka. So if you take that out, I don't think that it is the lowest number of seats that we are contesting.
It's somewhere 200 and or something.
No, we have much more. We have much more. We'll just give you the breakup. We are much more. We are contesting 21 in Karnataka. We are contesting all as a UDF in Kerala, that's 20. So who gives you this number? We are contesting all 26 in Gujarat, all 25 in Rajasthan, all 39 in Madhya Pradesh, all 11 in Jharkhand, all seats in West Bengal, all seats in Uttar Pradesh, all seats in Uttarakhand, all seats in Himachal, all seats in Punjab, in Northeast, Assam. So this is wrong. This is absolutely incorrect information.
Sir, how many seats is going to be?
Let me tell you one thing. My surname is Sharma, but I am not astrologer. But one thing I can tell you, Modi will not be the Prime Minister, BJP will be defeated. Congress will
be the Prime Minister.
Congress will come with a very large number of seats, and the Congress and its allies will sit together how to form the next government.
But who will win the Prime Minister?
That the leaders will decide. Naturally, if the Congress party leads, there is no question. If the Congress is in the lead, our leader is Rahul Gandhi. But we believe in coalition. We'll decide. Let the election be over. It will depend on the numbers, because there is pre-election alliances and post-election coalition. So we will wait for that. You don't have to worry. This question was put to the Congress in 2004, when a far better Prime Minister of the BJP was in office, who was respected, amiable, charming, Atal Bihari Vajpayee. There is Atal Bihari Vajpayee and who from the opposition. But what happened? Vajpayee ji lost, Shining India lost, we won. Same thing will happen on 23rd. I was saying yesterday in a public meeting, but asking the audience, You go to the airport, is the arrival and departure. Narendra Modi and BJP are in the departure lounge. Thank you.
Someone from Congress party will be the Prime Minister.
Well, if we have the numbers, yes. I normally don't enter into a debate. I've answered your question. I've answered your question.
The last time.
I've answered your question, gentlemen. There are rules. There are rules of a press conference. This press conference is not to announce. There are rules. You asked me a question, I gave you the answer.
So as far as you are in Goa, so Congress is contesting both the Lok Sabha seats. So since you must have held some meetings and all.
Yes,
How do you see your party's prospects?
we are winning both the Lok Sabha seats. Both. We are winning South Goa. We are winning North Goa also.
What are the key issues you also feel that the BJP has failed in the last 5 years,
Yeah,
especially when you talk about Goa?
They stole the people's mandate. They formed they stole the MLAs. They cheated the voters of Goa. They literally bought the MLAs, made the MLAs defect. Is it a government which people of Goa elected? When government is formed by stealing MLAs, by stealing the mandate, by buying MLAs, so then that is also a big issue. Voters are not stupid. Voters understand these things. Then all their decisions, they have destroyed the economy, they have destroyed the jobs. There's a corruption all pervasive. People know that. And Congress candidates have a far better image. They are reaching out to the people. I can say from what I have heard that BJP is losing both the seats and we are winning, Sadina is winning South Goa and Girish Chodhankar is going to win North Goa. That's what people have told me. I'm not saying here, but since I have come and travelled and met people. Thank you.
CJI has again said that judiciary is under threat. So what is?
Every institution in India has been under assault and threat. There has been a subversion of institutions which poses a grave threat to Indian constitutional democracy. From all our educational institutions, institutions of administration, governance, universities, investigating agencies, intelligence agencies. Name the area, name the institution which has not been targeted. That's why this government must go.
CJI said that he is going to sit on some important cases. That's why they are going to become.
You see, normally it is not proper for me in an election campaign to comment on CJI's statement about the cases that he is going to hear. It's between him, the Supreme Court, and the people. Thank you.
Yeah.